My video for June the 24th, 2019 is video number 3126. The title is Chuck Baldwin Calls It the War Party. Most people have fallen for lies, perhaps none more so than my Christian brothers and sisters. One evangelical preacher that may be an exception is Chuck Baldwin, a Baptist minister. A few days ago, he published an article, "The War Party is at it again." The article opens, quote, "Trade a Democrat for a Republican, trade a liberal for a conservative. It doesn't matter. The War Party remains in charge either way. The people who thought they were voting for Donald Trump because he would extricate America from these endless foreign wars should realize by now that he is just another wuss for the War Party. Donald Trump has expanded America's bombing wars against Somalia and Syria. He has expanded America's drone attacks against Pakistan and Yemen. He has expanded America's ground war in Afghanistan. U.S. wars in Iraq and Libya have never stopped. U.S. wars have killed over 500,000 people, mostly innocent civilians, in Iraq, Afghanistan, and Pakistan alone." End quote. Wow, what will it take to wake us up? For that matter, what will it take to wake God up? What will it take to fully expose the war party of the U.S. and Israel and end their lies? Wow. By the way, I already recorded this video, but I forgot to hit the record thing. So I thought I was recording a video, and actually I wasn't. I finished and there was no recording. So I have to do a takeover or do-over because there was nothing to begin with. So anyway, folks, I've been looking at this thing for a long time and trying to make sense out of the news that we hear, and I try to read and pay attention to both sides, and sometimes the stories are exactly the opposite, and they can be presented in such a way that, as I've said many times, they both make sense, but they both can't be true because they're saying the opposite things. Another person that another person that made an interesting comment is Pepe Escobar. He's a correspondent at large at the Asia Times. He wrote, "War zone in effect. As it stands in Trump land, former CIA Mike, we lied, we cheated, we stole, Pompeo, America's top diplomat, is virtually running the Pentagon. Acting Secretary Shanahan performed self-immolation. Pompeo continues to actively sell the notion. The intelligence community is convinced Iran is responsible for the Gulf of Oman tanker incident. Washington is ablaze with rumors of an ominous double bill in the near future. Pompeo as head of the Pentagon and psycho John Bolton as Secretary of State. That would spell out war. Yet even before the sparks start to fly, Iran could declare that the Persian Gulf is in a state of war, declaring that the Strait of Hormuz is a war zone, and then ban all hostile military and civilian traffic as its half of the strait. Without firing a single shot, no shipping company on the planet would have oil tankers transiting the Persian Gulf." End quote. I look at things like this. I try to pay attention to what people are saying. I read lots of reports, or I should say I listen to them, because when a Vona reader kicks in, I highlight the text and I have it read it to me because it's easier that way. But in any case, folks, I want to see peace on earth. I want to see truth being uplifted. But there are so many lies, so much deception. Obama was supposed to bring us change we could believe in. He lied. Trump promised to drain the swamp. Did he lie as well? Supposedly, there's all sorts of indictments against politicians and others for treason, trials that are supposed to be held at Guantanamo, and military tribunals that are supposed to hold these people's feet to the fire and bring accountability where there has been no accountability. Folks, we're dealing with people that are demon possessed, in my opinion. And what's it going to take? I'd like God to take responsibility and actually somehow bring us something that's going to shift things. I believe that was going to happen in 2012, but it didn't, and it still hasn't. And there are still promises, but we're enticed by those promises to believe that there's going to be real change when nothing actually changes. I mean, Trump's alignment with the state of Israel is pushing for biblical prophecy to be fulfilled, as in Armageddon, and that's supposed to bring about the Messiah, but it will be a false Messiah because there's trying to build everything up in Jerusalem, the temple and everything else that's going on. They're trying to build it up to deceive Christians into believing that support of Israel is somehow supporting God's plan. And I've been there myself because that's part of my community, my spiritual community. But it's riddled with lies. And what's it going to take? I keep asking for our loving Heavenly Father to stop the chicanery, stop the deception, and level the playing field for people that want to have peace on earth instead of waging war for profit. And war for profit, that's what they do. They finance both sides against each other. They get them to go to war with each other and destroy things. And then they get to give them money or loan them money so that they can rebuild what's been destroyed. War is the most profitable business that's ever been created. And who runs this, if not the international bankers? And they are not just made up of people that call themselves Jews, fake though that may be, because they're actually Ashkenazis. But there are good people there. There are good people everywhere. It's just that the good people aren't the ones that get elevated into positions of power, because the moneyed interests are the ones that are behind everything, folks. Haven't we seen this yet? The RV is not going to change anything if the governments get first crack at the restructured and newly released asset-backed currencies. It will make no difference. And this is the thing that eats at me and creates a despondency in me that make me ask myself, what am I living for? I want to see truth uplifted. I want to see peace become not just a promise of something in the future, but a present reality that we can all experience, that we can work together to build bridges and take down piece by piece the walls, the fabrications that have been built up to alienate us instead of to get us to work together, to actually fulfill what all religions ultimately teach somewhere, and that is to love one another, because that is the basis. People that love each other don't go to war. They don't kill others' children and rape and do all the things that militaries have been unfortunately doing for a long time, and not just militaries from the United States, but around the world. People that wage war are insane. And when are we going to heal the insanity? When are we going to get to the root of the thing and actually bring about real positive change that uplifts humanity and sets a new course for us, a course of rebuilding and reestablishing peace for everyone? Thank you for listening, and namaste.